Oh, good morning, guys. How you guys doing? Happy November 18th, 2020. It's Wednesday, midweek point. Horizon's there. It's in sight. The end of the week is soon. Hope you guys are faring well. Stream is going to be finishing the painting that we've been spending the last 17 months working on. I think today, I said this yesterday, but I'm more confident now that this is going to be the last day on this painting. So we're going to wrap this one up here at the end of a couple hours. And then I think for the rest of the week, Thursday and Friday, probably do some more of those head exercises that I really enjoyed doing while I was over on Behance. Streaming on behalf of Behance and Adobe. I guess it's one of the same now, right? The head exercises that we did over there, drawing one from reference. In total, I would draw, 4 heads? One directly from the reference. And then, what was the second one? The second one was trying to remember what you just drew without the reference. So that's 2. And then there's another one that is turning it into, I was going to say turning it into a character, but not necessarily that. Applying a theme or a genre or whatever the fuck you want, inspired based off of that reference. And then the fourth one, I'm still undecided about what to do with the fourth one, but what I have been doing is just taking the same head that I remember seeing, and we can use all the reference, we can use all the images that we've created at this point, the last 3 heads, and then just rotate the entire head and try and make up a new angle. That's the fourth one. I think the fourth one we can probably play around with, because I'm not entirely sure if that really is beneficial in the long run. It might just be overtly confusing. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe if we just straight up just do the profile or an opposite angle of the reference. Maybe that's the safe bet. Anyways, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Here we go. You guys are going to be seeing sporadic changes to the stream in the near future, probably consistently. I'm not completely shrouded in shadow, in darkness, as much as I'm comfortable in it. I got a light that seems to be working, so we'll go with this for now, and then we'll upgrade in time. Because I would like to get a green screen. I think that's something that would be good, because I have the space for it. I just put it right there. I think I'll get one of those ones that you can pull out, and it kind of just does its thing automatically. I won't bore you guys with that stuff. How you guys doing? Rick Vito, how you doing, man? Yeah, those pre-rolls, the pre-roll ads that Twitch, well, up until recently, you couldn't really do anything about them. The only way to prevent pre-rolls from rolling is if you have an ad blocker, or if I think the streamer rolls their own rolls their own ads, and that stops the pre-roll. But since I literally just started the stream, I can't just get rid of the pre-rolls that quick. But yeah, that's why. Pre-rolls can't really do much about at the very beginning. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. Mikkel, holy shit. We're back, dude. And it's so great to see you. How you doing, man? I feel like it's been a lifetime. It pretty much has been. I don't have my old notification sound. Yeah. I think that's what we used to have. So I'll just do that every sub. Thank you for the support, dude, Mikkel. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, the schedule is going to be Monday through Friday, starting at our old time. Aim for a handful of hours. There's other shit that I want to take care of outside of the stream as well. Mainly, for now, it's all about the house stuff. There's still odds and ends that I need to tie up, especially before winter comes around. But we're doing really well with managing that shit. Coming from somebody who's not like, I'm not part of the adult world. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. You know, the house adult things. You know what I mean? Like getting your house license or taking your house to house daycare while you're at work and introducing it to the other houses in the neighborhood. See, I don't even I don't know how to do any of it. But with all that said, I'm happy with the progress that we're making. It feels good. And slowly, surely, it's all going towards a meaning, like a meaningful. Do I say climax? Can I say climax? I'll say climax. I'm using the word climax. It's all gonna help build up to a nice, massive climax of motivation. Is that what you thought I was gonna say? Probably, maybe. I don't have a problem with it if the ads keep Twitch from running. Yeah, I mean, there's, oh man, you can tell I am tripping over my words because I have a lot to say about it. I'm all for supporting the platform, but we could get into a pretty interesting conversation about Twitch's recent endeavor into mandatory ad rolling. So, and that, because up until these changes that they made, ads, I think the only ads that we would see is pre-roll, and then whichever streamers decided to run them. And unfortunately, they don't really, there's no incentive for anybody but maybe like the top 5% of Twitch broadcasters who are on that, six-figure salary, quote-unquote salary. Well, I guess if they're signed with Twitch, then maybe they're making a salary. But for the other little shits, us other small little shits, running the ads, it's like maybe half a penny per week. It's something like that, depending on all the ads that get run, if any do get run when I hit the button over here. So it's mainly the reason why I want to roll the ads is to stop the pre-rolls. So if people who are curious about what's going on in this stream, they come in and within the first 2 minutes are hit in the face with like a 15 to 30 second ad, you're asking for a lot from a new viewer. You're asking for a lot, and they don't know who the streamer is, if it's going to be worth sitting through 10, 15, 30 second ad. You know, if it was me, I just close the window and go look for another stream that doesn't have I do that. I absolutely do that. I get bummed out by the ad rolling, and I'd say, fuck this stream, and then move to another. I do that. Do you guys do that too? Twitch, are you listening to any of this? No, they're not. But Siri is. Hey Siri, you listening to this? Yeah, she is. I guess maybe I just need more Amazon products around that are constantly listening to me. Right? Is that what it is? Morvu, how you doing? John Derek Fraser. I should change my name to like Sam or something. No, just Sam. Because then at some point the art section, and then eventually all the Twitch is just gonna be Sam's streaming. I follow so many Sams that at some point when I'm scrolling down my followers list, it's just all these different Sams streaming in the art section. It's the unknown epidemic that's happening. It's just the spread of Sams. Maybe that's, too soon to be making epidemic jokes, but especially about my friends. Whoops. All in good jest. Sorry to any Sams that aren't my friends, by the way. But I'm still, you know, the offer's still out there. We can still be friends. I'm just a piece of shit. To Sams, apparently. Totally do that. Checking out a new stream shouldn't cost too much time. Yep. I'd like a 30-second preview of the stream before I decide to watch it and get the ad. How cool would it be? I'm just spitting out ideas, right? Just anything goes. That was actually a fart. So I'm farting out ideas. Hey, guys, would this be cool if for a new stream that you've never entered into? So if they have your cookies in your browser, brownies or whatever the fuck they're called, and they know that you've been into this stream before, pre-ad, you know, pre-roll that ad. You know, you already have all of our data anyways. Might as well just know which channels we have and haven't gone into, and don't roll the pre-rolls on the new channels that the new URLs that we haven't been to. Is that like, is there a programmer out there that hears what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, that's easy. We can do that. Is that a thing that can be done? So don't roll the pre-rolls on a new channel until maybe like a notification comes up, because Twitch has all these options for interacting with the viewing screen, right? Maybe the pre-roll ad will get a little notification for you to launch or start the ad if you want to, right? It's like, hey, are you enjoying this new channel? Do you want to support them directly? Roll this ad. Boom. Don't even need cookies? Because your account has the history data? Maybe, yeah. I have no idea. That sounds like something that is real. But it's a shame, man, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of retention that's being missed out on because of those pre-roll ads. And it's just, they're literally, they fuck them. Twitch does this to themselves. They self-cannibalize. They're so eager to squeeze out any potential pennies that they can get from any viewers that they scare them away before they even have sat down to try and enjoy the whole viewing experience, right? It's like the worst thing you can do as a salesman is oversell your products to the point where your customers run away. They go somewhere else. Or when they walk up in your store, they just cover themselves with a box that says ad blocker and they can't see you. Maybe there's a little slit that's cut out so they can go around and not walk into walls. I don't know. These are just free ideas. Free ideas for Twitch. Hey, Sri Lanka. Can you order a dildo? Maybe. I could probably try that. Actually, hey Sri Lanka. Maybe you meant to type in Siri, but she still responds to Sri Lanka. Are you saying anything, Siri?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know what she was asking me to do, but she's like, yes, I consent to that. I don't know if that's a good idea. Siri, you might want to just slow your roll. Derek, please, that makes too much sense. I know, like the rational thought and logic in 2020, who am I? Who am I to even consider such a thing? We're not drawing circles. We haven't drawn circles in a couple months. We will be getting back to circles. Oddly enough, circles bum me out. Circles at the beginning of the day, they bum me out because of, I'll show you. And it would be hilarious if it's totally fine now. But it's the Jaggies, right? Masumbu, you know, Masumbu, you remember the Jaggy lines that I always complain about? They're still here. And of course, they're not showing up right now. Oh, there we go. They're coming back. It's usually after like the first 4 strokes, I lose the smoothness. Yeah, it's starting to... I don't know, man. I guess the next computer, it just has to be even more beefier. I just haven't had any luck in the past 3 PCs that I've ever had or ever owned. In not ending up with jankies, you know what I mean? always having janky lines. But whatever. Whatever. No Star Wars for a month. Squares only. Yeah. Which one is the photo? Oh, that made me laugh. That made me laugh. Morvu. Which one? I don't know. It's the Spider-Man meme, right? We should just paint memes and just... I don't know which one's the meme. Yeah. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate that, man. Didn't we have a program for this? Lazy something? Lazy Susan? Lazy... I think they bought it out. Didn't they? They bought... And that's what Adobe does, is they buy out a third-party apps and then they incorporate it in their newest version. I think that's pretty much how it is. Yeah, I remember using it. And I think it's literally this right here. Do you see this? The smoothing? And you can change the pull string mode, because that's what it had. Stroke catch-up, yeah, buddy. Oh, can I check it even more? Yeah, get that stroke! Sorry. Sorry about that. It's midweek, you can understand. Got a little bit of, I don't know, pressure. Catch up, stroke, end, I don't know what that means. Adjust for zoom, sure. And then I put it at, my sweet spot is 10%. And that seems to, for the most part, as long as I'm not moving my lines too quick. It does and it doesn't, Mikal. It's kind of like, it's kind of good enough for me. It's like when I'm actually painting, I don't really notice the it's only when I'm doing line drawings. And thankfully, I already have enough hindrance on my line drawing abilities, like with my trimmer, that there's no real point in getting upset by it, so. Because I'm just gonna cover up those lines anyways with some paint. Derek apologizing for being entertaining. Name a more iconic duo. That part really just can't be helped because of the fact that I'm Canadian. Sorry. It is what it is, right? That's the stereotype, and I will gladly be the Canadian to keep it, maybe even single-handedly. I doubt it. Like, there's a lot of Canadian streamers out there that are not as apologetic, but I've heard, I think Milton T. Pike, who's fucking just one of the best human beings, I think, ever. He's Canadian, but he doesn't apologize. Ever, I think. But he's a fucking brilliant dude. I think this is all I got to blab about for now, so... Do we just jump into painting? We just start the whole painting thing? Lazy Nasumi, that's it. Yes, John, that's absolutely it. Thanks, man. Yeah, that was the shit. I remember, I think it was like just a really nice app that you could buy one version of for like $5, and it would work instantly, and it had tons of different settings so that you can do whatever you want. And yeah, I think Adobe bought them, and just that person, whoever made that, if you can make an app, like a third-party app for a big-time app, oh man, app. You're in for potentially a lot of money in an early retirement, or maybe not an early retirement, maybe like a career. There, just like a career on this app. That'd be sweet. Sometimes I wish that that's how my brain worked. Like I could just be smart and figure out something to create and then sell it. Huh? How? It's just I can't do it. Just there's no way. Maybe someday. Maybe someday, man. Okay, so what did we do? Let's do this. Let's go all the way back in time. Go back in time. With this kind of music that's playing, I always end up just wanting to do a little bit of slow jazz singing. Yeah, and then maybe just grunt and moan for the rest of the stream. on top of it. Ooh, ah. Okay, don't quit your day job. Day job? I'm just not gonna talk anymore. Software engineers at Adobe sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a nice pampered and cozy job. You know? I would love to know what like a head office for Adobe looks like, and how their employees are treated, and what it's like to just go there every day. I think that'd be kind of neat. All right. So let's get this other hand done, shall we? We can find. No, wait. I said I was gonna go back. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, guys. I don't know what it is, and I guess it's just I'm so god awful at multitasking. There is no. I don't have any RAM anymore. You know what I mean? Like the where you can store temporary thoughts and shit that normally humans would be able to do. I just don't have that anymore. It's just like full tangent, nonstop. That's my linear. My linear is any way but the path that's most obvious. I don't know why. I don't know why I do that to myself, but okay. I caught myself here, so now I remember what I'm talking about. So we started off with a sketch here that I've since gone back and kind of erased chunks of it, because of the layer that this is on. I, for some reason, want this layer, so let's just leave the sketch layer. Turn these layers on. This is a normal layer. This next one here is a normal layer. Normal, soft light, normal. I'll just try and speed through this in the most uninteresting way possible. There's our flats, our flat values, or local colors rather, to block in the opacity of things. So there's a complete silhouette. Blouse, starting with your biggest shapes and forms first. A little bit of tinting of color, more painting. The hair is in there now. A little tint, some rendering and painting. That's the line layer. Turn that off. I think we turn this one back on. I think we merge that all down. And this layer, we turn this one back on. There, some more painting. That literally does nothing. Multiply layer, I think. More lights. Painting. I think you guys kind of get it. And then from here, I think this is all just like painting on one layer and then duplicating it. Just the features being adjusted. You slowly see it come together. Made the head a little bit bigger here. Hands. I think that's where we're at right now. That. And then I think this is what we did like yesterday. I think I did like a total of like 10 minutes of painting. And I think that's where we're gonna continue it right here and wrap it up. We should be done by the end of the stream here in a couple hours. Derek, how are you coping with Rona? You guys safe in the cold north? Where I am, there's still cases, and it feels like things are on a swing upwards. I pretty much, that seems like it's the case for majority of countries, which of course is fucking disappointing. It's making me very disappointed in people. It's unfortunate. It's super unfortunate because people are getting so lax now and thinking that for some reason they can disregard the progress that was being made. I, for one, have been just not seeing anybody. The only people that I've been seeing are people within our bubble, and that is Caroline's family, her parents and her sister, and that's it. Other than that, if I'm outside, I'm masked up 2 meters away from people, telling people to go fuck themselves if they're not wearing a mask and they're around me, because that's what I'm gonna do now. It's just if you're not wearing a mask and you're inside an establishment, and I see you, you're gonna get a fucking earful, and then probably a mask thrown at you. That's probably what I'll do, in a very gentle way. Not as aggressive as I'm being right now, by any means, because that won't help anything. But I'll be coming at them. You know what I mean? Like I'll make you feel this big type of thing. I got no time for it. For ignorance, for elective ignorance, because at this point in the epidemic, there's no excuse to not have the knowledge and the understanding. Period. You know what I mean? Even in New Brunswick, Canada, which is where I live, we've had a total of 6 deaths only, which is still 6 deaths too many that could have been prevented had people not traveled outside of their bubbles. And in all cases, that's what happened. People traveling outside of our province and not wearing masks and going to gyms, because they track them, right? They track them, and then they say, well, this person they went to a gym, they went to a shoe store, they went to this other place, all on the same day, and if you were there, guess what? The chances are you're fucked as well. And it just, I can't understand anybody who isn't able to put somebody else before themselves. It just blows my mind. It absolutely destroys my understandings of humans, and it's super depressing and it's super upsetting. However, I'm staying inside, so everything's fine. I've been doing great, Mikkel. We've been fantastic, and in fact, the whole COVID thing has been actually a plus for me because of the additional side effects. Not in terms of getting COVID or having anybody having COVID type of side effects, but there's a benefit. There's one benefit that COVID has provided for me personally, and that's raising the cost of my last house. It just basically doubled. COVID just changed the housing industry over here, so I sold my mini home and upgraded to a better house, a brand new place that I'll be spending the rest of my life paying off. But that's okay, because I'm not going anywhere. And at this rate, sadly, neither is anybody else. So stay inside, wear your fucking mask if you do go outside, and if you have symptoms or anything that feels like a symptom, there's hotlines provided in your country. Look them up, use them. Just consider other people, and I'm sure that anybody who's watching this channel already does so prior to COVID. But it's just a small thing to try and ask people to do, is wear your fucking masks or stay inside if you don't feel good. Please, literally, please. It's life and death to some people, even though it might not be for everybody. How hard is it to consider the frailty of somebody else over your huge, giant COVID fighting cock that you have, and you're swinging around, you're batting out COVID, you're like, fuck you, big dick, don't care where this lands. You know? That's horrible. Mikhail, thanks again for the 10 months, dude. Technique, some bear ski. Hoolies, thanks for the follows, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry for ranting. I guess that's kind of what we do around these parts, but I don't really consider that ranting. I consider it common sense. Sadly, it's not. Obviously. Besides that, man, yeah, it's been a dream. It's been great. I feel 2020 has just fucking, it just got really, really bad. But at the same time, on my mental front, I've been just ramping up, man. It's been really nice because here's another thing, and I will get to painting. Swear. What was I gonna say? Yeah, my mental health has been great because it almost feels like my and maybe you guys will agree with me this and also agree that it's kind of weird and fucked up, but it feels like my lifestyle is now justified. Or our lifestyles of you know, being a paid Lance artist and kind of like a homebody. I'm like, man, I've spent my entire life training for this. I'm totally set. You know what I mean? Anyways. Yeah, paid Lancers. I'm done with being a freelancer. I'm a paid Lancer. It sounds cooler. It sounds like I have like a clad of armor somewheres. And I guess just a big stick to poke people with, but really this is the only stick that I poke people with. That's it. This is the only stick. So I'm trying to make like a penis joke, but it's not working. Anyways. That's probably the time to go back and paint. Snowballing, it feels like it. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. It feels a lot better than, I guess, the opposite of snowballing, just fucking melting, right? Just liquefying and you know, just not really feeling productive at all. So what you're saying, that everybody should stay inside until vaccination, if possible. Yes. Yes. Never mind that last question. Good. I will. Yeah, man. Stay inside. However, listen, when I say stay inside until there's vaccination, I understand that not everybody has convenience and the luxury of convenience of doing that. And that's completely fucked. This is why we have governments. You know, this is why we have governments. Elected by the people for the people to protect the people. And a lot of our governments. Is there any governments that like have taken, maybe some like Norwegian ones, that have more of a socialistic kind of government to help their citizens completely, like with finances and everything? Has there been a country that's done that? I don't know. I don't think there has. At least none that comes to mind when I'm thinking of it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that basically stops people from needing to go to work altogether. Whereas there's a lot of people who are in lower paid ranges, lower income, that have no choice. That literally just have to fucking go out, get on a bus, stand next to some person who's most likely not wearing a mask or has a mask. Doesn't matter, they're doing the same thing as them. And that's not really isolating, is it? And that comes down to the government. That's the government. The government's the one in charge of allowing these businesses to pay employees those rates. It's so fucked. It's so fucked. And I don't know, man. It's really upsetting. Norway had a lot of bailouts for big and small businesses. Okay. And that sounds like something Norway would do for sure. Very progressive in that front. Using their saved up oil money. Imagine that. Imagine having billions of dollars saved up and then helping your citizens in 2020 deal with a global epidemic and a global economic crisis, potentially. I mean, it really depends on the economy, right? Some economies are doing great, some are so volatile that it's hard to really pin what direction they're going. Some people are benefiting, some people are losing everything. It's chaotic, man. That's why I like to be down here in my bunker with my unfinished walls My blackout curtain. That's the that's not actually the sunlight. That's my that's the glow from my nuclear reactor that's right behind me. That's going to keep me and my family safe during the apocalypse. I shouldn't say this shit because it's so close to being real. It's realer now than it ever has been, and it's so great. It's exactly the direction that I think humans need to go in. Okay, okay, here we go. There we go. I'm on the wrong layer, of course. I think that's what should be put on my headstone. Something like, oh, I had it, and then I just lost it. And it was gonna be great, because it was gonna be like a layers. Like, oh, this guy's on a different layer now. No, see, that doesn't, no. That needs to go back to the drawing board. I'll talk to the higher ups and tell them to rewrite that one. Today's script is pretty shit. Gotta take that to the writer's board. If you have no government, then yes, no Scandinavians, and that's, oh my god, I can't imagine, man. And third world countries that are, it's got to be chaos in the streets. I can't imagine. I just feel really bad. It's not socialistic country. They just have more free stuff because of good economy. Okay, gotcha. Having wealth, in surplus. Well, you think that America would have a surplus of wealth as well, with all the billionaires working there, right? It's all a bunch of, it's prosthetic. It's not real. It's like synthetic fucking riches. I don't know, or I don't know. Just rich people suck. I think we can all agree with that, though, right? Most rich people suck, and that's kind of the problem. That's kind of a big problem. You know, imagine we're probably gonna see like a trillionaire in our lifetime. A trillion. What's that? 1 million billions? 1 million, or is it like 1,000 millions? I don't know. I don't know how numbers work. I just start paintings and then abandon them for a living, so I don't really deal with numbers. Everyone gets like 7K, I think, a year in Alaska. That's right. You know what? There are some huge perks to living further up north. That's right. The economies up there are vastly different for certain incentive reasons, right? To have people out there to do the jobs that need to be done. Have you guys ever lived or worked at a place that has an odd or untypical, is that a word? Day and night cycle? You know, like up, depending on how north you go, the sun really never sets during a certain time of year, right? That'd be wild. I don't know how that would really fuck me up, I think. Even for somebody who clearly doesn't like sunlight. That would probably mess me up. In some way, probably would. As a Dane, I can say Scandinavia is an open market democracy with a lot of welfare that's it. Nothing dangerous, it just works. Nope, can't trust it. If it works, I don't trust it. That's me speaking on behalf of every other country that's not with the same state of mind. An understanding of Scandinavians. I'm gonna call you Scandinavians. 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 It's like Canada and Scandinavia fused together, and which I could easily see Canada being like a Scandinavian, Norwegian type of country, because of I'm playing Valhalla, Assassin's Creed. It's fucking, I'm like, hey, that's Nope, we're not in Canada. It's nice. I would move there. I would absolutely move there and become maybe a Viking. The most friendliest of Vikings. That would be awesome. I have an axe. You guys want to see my axe? No, I don't actually. It's just a wood chopping axe. It's nothing. I thought Canada was just a large Norway with French people. It actually is exactly that. That's pretty much what we are. Yeah. That's pretty much what we are. Except we're not mostly tall and blonde. We're a pretty diverse bunch up here in Canada. I don't think you can really say... it's probably majority white. Maybe not, but I don't know. It's not something I'm, I guess, obviously observing, like what type of ethnicities are around me, because it's not a concern for me. It's like human. Anyways. Free dental up to 18, we have that as well. 18 or 21. Some type of coverage that you get. And then it stops at a certain age, and then you're fucked, right? You have to go and figure out your own coverage now that you're an adult. Because adult teeth suck. It's easy to look after an adolescent's teeth, because usually they're brand spanking new. There's not much that needs to be done, unless you're just constantly biting metal or something. I don't know. It's a good hobby. Chaos Ocelot, how you doing? Nice to see ya. I would rather call them humanitarian policies. Yeah, it's human rights. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of. We participate in our government society that they create for us, and it's intended to keep us safe. And when it infects us with diseases or causes us to have mental diseases or anything else, I think that the responsibility falls on the shoulder of the government who enforces those societies, right? Maybe if I paint it so black and white like that, it makes it easy to do such a thing. But anyways, in these times, I think everyone's just frustrated and wants to point their finger at the big man at the table with all the money around him, right? That's the government. Socialist policies, yes, that's right. I thought Canada was just a larger Norway. Yeah, with French people, it's so perfect. It's actually a miracle that any country has a medical system. It really is. It's a miracle that we've even survived this long as a species. You know, we made it through the dark ages. And we didn't even have the internet or technology of like what? We had like a couple rocks and maybe some tree sap. Yeah, man. And yeah, if we lose at any point after that, as a species, man, that's embarrassing. The rest of the universe is collectively laughing. Like, we're observing you and you don't even realize it. And here you are on the brink of potentially making the world a very green and healthy place. You still don't understand how to look after one another. Anyways, I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, so I should stop. To me, I'm just speaking common sense. You know, I feel like we're all of this understanding that we just inherit, but we don't, unfortunately. What an invention it is. It's very true. It's been a while. I was around. I'm doing all right. Finally home from work. Chaos. I'm glad to hear that you're home, able to put your feet up maybe and kind of relax a bit. Yeah, get the tea. Tea is such a great thing. Coffee is better, obviously, but... Excuse me, sir? Did you just say what I think you just said? Yeah. Coffee is superior to tea. End of discussion. End of discussion. That's it. Let's find a new discussion because the last discussion is over. Is anybody triggered? I hope someone's triggered. Ah, feels good. Feels good to trigger No, I love tea as well. Tea is great. Right now, I think my favorite tea that I'm drinking, it's nothing fancy. It's Twindlings. It starts with a T. That much I know. Twinings? Twinings. Thank you, Blooming. Oh, and I see I'm going to finish my thought and then I'll read the chat here in a second. It's... Oh, God, what is it? It's a breakfast. It's Irish breakfast. Is it Irish breakfast? I think it's Irish breakfast. Anyways, it comes in a green box. It's amazing. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's the perfect amount of boldness and flavor that I want from a tea, and I drink them black. I drink my tea and coffee black. It's pretty weird. It's pretty fucked up. Did it since day one, though. Mainly so that if I were to ever go over to, let's say, your house, this weekend, by the way, I'll be showing up, and now you know what tea I'll be drinking and how I like to have it. So, Irish breakfast. Yes, thank you, hon. She knows. That's my girlfriend, Caroline. Blooming Zonda says, I always thought of Europe as this kind of utopia because we're always here. We always hear about how much people, I'm inserting words, how much better this and that is over there. But I have been talking to a friend. I'm having indigestion, sorry. Ugh, I guess that's the only side effect of drinking a lot of coffee is the acid reflux it gives me, but I can't stop. No, I can't. And I am stopping. I'm on decaf now, so it's great. Was I saying? I made, because we always hear about how much better this and that is over there, but I have been talking to a friend and made that, friend I made that lives in St. Petersburg, and I recently read this story from an NBA player from Greece. An NBA player from Greece? And it makes me realize everywhere has issues. It just depends on what it is. You're absolutely right. And some places more so than others. And I think there's clearly world stages that get a lot more attention, and depending on what they do, can have a huge effect on the rest of the world. So that happens. That very much happens. Talking about the United States, and yeah, it's strange. We all look towards them mainly because of entertainment, and at least for the last 4 years. From a distance, us from a distance have been entertained. You guys in the thick of it, I sympathize. I absolutely do, because I would not want to experience what's going on down there. Anyways, I'll leave it at that, because I feel like I don't want to put salt in the wounds of a country that is clearly at odds with one another in the direction that it wants to go. At least there was until when was the election? And I find it strange that you have to wait until January 20th. Here in Canada, it's like the next day they kick them out after we have all of the votes in, and that's usually the next day as well, isn't it? It's like sometimes maybe a couple days, but usually whoever's the elected officials are put into office the day later, and the loser's the loser, and they have to fucking go home. You know what I mean? You know you know what happens to losers? They go home. Anyways, is coffee still coffee if it's not black? It's hard to say. Yeah, it's almost like a dessert. It becomes more of a dessert, right, John? Are we agreeing on that? Is that what we're agreeing with? That like I like to taste the flavor of the coffee, which is fucked because it's an awful flavor. It's such a gross flavor initially, right? You know what I'm saying? Coffee initially is just like the worst decision ever, but then you start to feel the caffeine, and it sinks its hooks into you, and you're like, I want more? Why? Why do I want more? Yes, I do, I want more. Why? Ugh, it's cold as fuck, and I'll drink it. Yes, please. If I had a syringe, I'd just inject it, but I can't do that, and I don't have a syringe, so I won't do that. A cute dragon? There's another cute girlfriend dragon out there for you. A cute dragon. And you'll find it in the most least expecting of ways. That's just how it works. And it will. You can trust me. It will. It's almost like when you ask, and when you start asking the world for shit, it's like, no. You hint, right? It's kind of like it's near your birthday, maybe a month away, and you're with your family or friends or whatever, and you're just trying to hint, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for my birthday, but, you know, having a Butt Blaster 3000 would be nice. It just came out this year. Anyways, yeah, we'll go to the mall. Let's go to the mall and hang out. The outdoor mall, because it's 2020 and COVID's still a real thing, so we won't actually buy anything. We're just going to go for a walk around outside, not actually a mall. We're just going to be socially distancing and wearing our masks. If we do decide to go into a public establishment and spend any money, and we'll probably most likely use credit or debit, because that has a less percentage of contaminating any potential other people who haven't been exposed to COVID. Let's go. What was I talking about? To be fair, with the counting Canada is a little bigger than Florida population, and that's true. That's what it is, right? It's literally just density. There's way more fucking people in America than Canada. You're absolutely right, Bloomy. Thank you for calling me out on that, because that's, well, literally counting takes that much more longer because of how many people you have to count. But computers, I don't know. I don't know how it works. And by no means is this person here in front of you going to tackle and try and figure out America's voting issues. I won't be able to figure that out, sorry. Not today. Maybe tomorrow we'll try, but today we're obviously going to focus on painting, and we're so focused, and we're painting consistently and not interrupting myself for any tangent conversation that's happening. Digitalis, how you doing, man? What happened to your long hair? What do you mean? Oh, shit. The fuck? It seems to be gone. I decided to get a neck, I guess. Not a very long one at that either. Just kind of like it feels like my neck's getting shorter by the year. And my head's getting wider, which I hate. I guess it's just part of growing up, right? We just get fat heads and no necks, and soon it's just gonna be a pumpkin on shoulders. Just a wrinkly, old, pale pumpkin. Lots of good things to look forward to, I guess. I hope you're doing well, man. I lurk in on your streams from time to time. I hope things are going well with you, man. Don't tell me you don't remember me. Oh, I absolutely do. Absolutely do. And I hope you are doing well. We all turn into Krang sooner or later. Yeah, that's literally. I want to turn into. What are their names? Slash. Who are the ones? There's like Rocksteady and Bebop. Bebop and Rocksteady from the cartoon, and then they had in the live action ones. I don't know why. Was Slash in the other dude in the comics? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. Does anybody know what the fuck I'm talking about? I'm 35, by the way. I'm talking about like old Ninja Turtle cartoons. Because I know that there's a new Ninja Turtles animation cartoon. I don't have cable, so I haven't really been able to see it anywhere, unless it's on a streaming site. Then I have no excuse, because I think I have them all. And it looks fucking awesome. I love that they diversified the shapes, and they're not all uniform and just separated with colors in their weapons. That's always been something I've wanted to see in a Turtles, I guess, movie or show or whatever. COVID hit you hard, lost my job, unfortunately. Did you get it? Did you have COVID, man? But it sounds like that's how it is for, unfortunately, a lot of people. I guess it's time to have universal income. Right? I think we should probably just do that and nip this whole COVID thing in the butt. I think that's probably what we should do. And you know what? I know just the guy who can help us. He's actually part of this website. Let's go ahead and ask Jeff if he can go ahead and start this whole universal income thing for every country. Just real quick. Bezos. It's Bezo Bucks. By the way, if you have a Twitch Gaming subscription available, you can help, help stop and help prevent that Bezos guy from getting more money. And instead of putting it in his hands, you can go ahead and put it into your favorite streamers' hands. With Twitch Prime Gaming, is that what it's called now? I don't fucking know. If you do have Prime, there it is. It works. Being a soulless sellout shill works. Blooming, thank you very much, and I'm glad to hear at least some dollars aren't going to be going to Jeff Bezos and his quest to become a trizillionaire. Did you ever read the OG comic? It is wild. I've seen it. I've never read it because at the time when I had it in my hands, I didn't care about anything but artwork, and I would just pour through the pages of the original comics in the artwork and how much more violent and aggressive the turtles were, and I love it. I want to see that. I want to see like a black and white, like Sin City-esque live action movie, maybe, if they're gonna just fucking do. If we're going all out now with movies, we might as well. And do it that way, and just let's see some turtles have aggressive desires to use kung fu or karate on people, or whatever they do. Albert, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Hoolies, Zombersky, thanks guys for the follows. I think I got you guys though already, but always appreciated. This film sounds like a job for Tarantino. You imagine if Tarantino did a Ninja Turtles movie? I don't know if he even cares about Ninja Turtles though, so he probably never would. And that's what I would like. I would like a director that likes the because you can tell when a director is passionate and isn't just assigned to create a movie. You know, Marvel goes out, oh, we've seen you've done movies before, now do a superhero movie. Sometimes it works, sometimes it could be better. I think it anyways, that's paint. I'm gonna go ahead and paint a Stephen Chow TMT movie. What movies have I seen of his? Stephen Chow. I know I said I'm just gonna go paint, but let's see. Kung Fu Hustle. Oh yeah. Oh dude. Oh, and Shaolin Soccer. Yeah, it would be nuts. It would be it would be an insane, mind-blowing movie, I guess. Right? It would just be fucking nuts. No punches pulled. Oh, did he? Tarantino wrote? He was the writer for Sin City? That's crazy. I had no idea. Okay. It's only been an hour of me just talking nonsense, so let's go ahead and do the thing. I'm going to lurk. I have to get some work done. Good talking to you again, Digitalis. As always, thank you so much for hanging out. Been any time. Guys, make sure you follow Digitalis. He's an awesome streamer. Check him out. Give him a follow. People in the art section kick ass. And Digit is another one who does just that. Alright, cool. Let's do it. Let's paint this hand over here. I think I moved this, yeah, so we can zoom in. We are on the right layer. What brush do I have? Go with this like charcoal brush for now. Alright, I'm gonna open my mouth and allow all the spirits from past artists flow into my body and control my hand. This is something they don't teach you at art school. Or what is it called now? I don't know. Never mind. To allow past artists to enter my body, to make commune with my inner workings, to control my hand and my artistry. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with that, so I'm just gonna stop. Oh, it's not me painting. It's some very successful artist that we all know and love and can easily remember their name off the top of my head very quickly. Yes, that one. That one is possessing me. Derek, are you okay? I'm fine, thank you. Spirit who's possessing me right now. Is that too much? Did I cross a line just now? Freaking people out. Actually, being possessed on Twitch is against the terms of service, so you should probably not advocate for such a thing. You know what? I'm not surprised. You can't even get possessed on Twitch anymore. Twitch has certainly changed. Like back in the good days when you could tune in to a nice, family-friendly exorcism or something. I don't know. Hi, Mute. How you doing, man? Hi. He directed a few scenes. Okay, but still, if he had his hand on it in some way or another. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's about time Hollywood tried maybe something else for big blockbuster hits, like a Michael Bay movie, not necessarily Transformers movie, but like a Michael Bay, fucking everything exploding, you know, sexy young actors. You know, that's great. That's all well, and that's, you know, that shit still sells, and it will always sell. I guess what I'm trying to say is pave room for. Is this the sound of? Am I possessed? Sounds like. No, I'm not. That's a song. I don't like that song. I don't like being like whispered things in songs. I don't know. Is that just is that just me? I don't like to somebody just gonna go up to you, talk to you like this, and give you advice, and then maybe there's a beat behind it, and you're gonna have to listen to it. And can you concentrate? No, he's gonna breathe. Can he breathe? He's gotta breathe at some point. It's distracting. Well, sorry, you, Jared. It's true. Good point. Good point. I'm not against that song by any means. I'm not against any type of specific music. I think that there's just a time and a place for everything, depending on the person. And I prefer to have something that's chill, like this, at the moment. Make sense? A little bit. Do that. There's the mouth. The mouth will slowly, my mouth will slowly start to open. You guys, you catch yourself in your whatever art face you have when you're really focused. Do you ever catch your reflection? Maybe you have like a mirror set up somewhere for reference, and then you're like, oh, who was that? Then you realize it's you. No, just me? All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for that. This. Yeah, I want to erase some of these lines here. Do that. Get rid of these. Yeah. Okay. I guess I would almost say like resting art face is kind of compared to like John Mayer face when he's playing guitar or something. Probably not a good person to compare to, because that dude's like fucking eye candy, you know what I'm saying? Like John Mayer? Yeah, that's I'll have a tall glass of that, please. And whatever face he makes, yes. With On the Rocks as well. Me, it's like, this is my like art face maybe. It's like, I don't know what it looks like. I try to forget every time I see it of how horrendous. It's the same as gamer face, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay. It's like a deep maroon. Let's try something here. This feels like it's gonna be too dark, but put it in there. That's maybe a little bit more purple. Or is it gray? Probably more gray. It's very easy to confuse grays with blues and purples. When really they're not that at all. And they end up being like a green. That sucks. That's all I wanted to say. Back to opening my mouth. Darken this back here a little bit more. I think this whole area just needs to be a little bit bigger, maybe. The top of her hand here. Is that it, or is it something else? What just happened? We got Diaphonus coming in with the raid. Thank you, Diaphonus. Everybody who's been hanging out with Diaphonus. I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. We're drawing nippleless things that definitely don't have nipples. Because on Twitch, in our world, nipples are just another version of pepperonis. Actually, if that was true, then we would be seeing nipples everywhere. You know what I'm saying? If only nipples were seen the same as a slice of pepperoni, then Twitch would be a better place to be. What a first introduction to anybody who's coming in here. I'm not great with first impressions. I'm glad that in this case it was you guys and me mentioning nipples to you. Diphonus, thanks so much for the raid. Everybody who's coming on in, appreciate it. My name's Derek. I get that's kind of all I need to say. I guess this is what we're doing today, and have been for the past couple of days. Yeah, welcome. Nipples bad. Exactly. Imagine ordering a nipples with extra nipple, please. Yes, I'll have smoked nipple. Yeah. Do they even make smoked pepperoni? Is that a thing? I don't know. I found this. That's fucking hilarious. Nice piercing? Wait, are you talking about my actual piercing or like on a nipple? Because that would be pretty crunchy, I guess. An edgy stream. It's a stream that is completely follows along the lines of terms of service. Right, everybody? Like seriously, it does. There's absolutely nothing wrong about anything here. I don't know, unless like maybe boobs killed your entire family somehow. You know, like a nipple. Maybe you choked on a nipple as an infant and then became the CEO of a large streaming site. And then you're like, man, I hated nipples as an infant. Banned. They're all banned. Everywheres. And that's the story of Twitch. Everybody, come on in. Gather around. I'll tell you a tale of how Twitch shot itself in the foot by being afraid of nipples. You imagine all the money that they could make off of if they allowed nipples? I don't see it as being a bad thing from any vantage point. Do you guys? Now here, of course, there would have to be some implementations put into play here. Like, you have to be a certain age to be able to view the content, right? How do you police that shit? I don't know. It's not my job. Fucking figure it out. You know, like you have Twitch. You're the one with the billions of dollars. Figure out how an overlay works. I digress. This is an art stream. This isn't a ranting stream. Some would argue that, but I am going to be doing art. And Diphonus, thanks for the raid, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks anybody else who's coming on in from the raid. Appreciate it. If you do need to take off, I understand. Pretty much at the end of my stream, I gotta bounce as well. It's kind of like, well, it's just lunch. So it's really just lunchtime, and I'm really hungry. At the end of, I work up an appetite, dude. Streaming. For some reason, it's just saps all nourishment from my body, and I just need to replenish. Okay. But until then, let's try and do some painting, Eric. Listen to the music, just chill out. I was just talking about how when I'm painting, I always catch myself, like a reflection of myself, and how unpleasing my natural resting art face is. That's what we're talking about. I encourage you guys to try and catch a glimpse of what your resting, relaxed, focused art face looks like as well. Only for basically making me feel better about myself and how nasty my resting face is too. So it's just wide open. Just nobody's home basically when I'm painting. Okay, let's stick to the hands there. Stick to the hands. We need to darken the background there. We'll get right back to the hands, I swear. Is this it? No. This one? Okay, so we want to darken this. Yeah, let's try that. What is that? Control D, Control U. There we go. Oh, it's just lag. I think my PSD is bottlenecking somewhere. I don't think that's a correct term, but it feels like it's lagging. A little bit more red, maybe. Like that. Go back and erase. Okay. Darken this a little bit more right in here. Yeah, that's World Teller. I love your name, by the way. Your name alone immersed me into a universe that my mind just in a split second created, and it was awesome. So thank you. Thank you for, with your name alone, sending me on like a narrative journey in a universe that you just created in my head somehow. I don't know. But you're right. Nudity bad, gore good. You know, it's what a society we live in. What a strange. I just want to see nipples. No, I just want to be able to not, I don't know, what is the word? Make something that's natural taboo. It's strange. Doesn't make sense. I think Twitch marketing argued that they don't want their platform to turn into a soft porn haven, which I think is okay. I think that would be an improvement from whatever the fuck it is right now. Because at least you could say it's got some soft porn. Now we just kind of say, well, there's soft porn, but only a few. Here and there. Implying it's not already soft porn is just chatting. That's exactly. I'm glad that I'm slow at reading chat, but I'm glad you agree, or at least it sounds like you do. Is that a normal command to ! lurk? We'll get our bots. I've only started streaming again last week, and I'm pacing myself. This year, probably like a lot of us, has been an interesting one. I'm coming off the heels of depression, anxiety, and a lot of like self-doubt and all the fun stuff of being a human and being an artist. Yeah, I guess sex isn't natural. Yeah, that's exactly it, right? It's totally, we're all from a test tube, or not even. We're just, you buy a seed that says human on it, you plant it in the ground, put a Big Mac on top of it, and then it grows, right? That's basically it. That's humans in 2020. Kicking ass. Came from my seed. That's my seed. That's actually, you know what? That's fine. Gore probably is also part of nature, like animals kill and eat each other all the time. I mean, we can definitely expose ourselves to these things for sure. It's just weird that one that is easy to explain of a anatomy, and then one is like violence and death. I gotta stop using logic. It's really what I gotta stop doing. That's my first problem. See, what you're doing is you're using logic and you're thinking like with your brain. Just don't do that, and then you'll be fine. So here we are, trying to work on improving ourselves, or the opposite, I guess. Oh no. Okay, we're still back there. Get a little bit of these purple grays situated. That's too bright. Oops. What layer is that on? Okay, so let's erase some of this stuff. Alright, let's go back. This could be a little bit brighter. You guys have any questions at all about what you're seeing in front of you here today, or what you heard, or I don't know, in general, just have a question that my response might intrigue you? I don't know. Whatever it is, putting this out there that you are welcome to ask anything. Be about this, what your favorite color is. I don't know, maybe that's what's your favorite brush size. I don't know how many kilobits you like to save your JPEGs at. I don't know. That would be the most boring topic. Mute, you do? Fire away. Fire away. I'm all for free speech. Let's have both gore and sex, but not in the same time. Yes, yeah, for sure. You know, completely agree with that. I'm not against having gore on Twitch, or I'm not against gore in any means besides real life gore. You know, I think bloods and guts should stay inside of people in real life. You know, but when I'm playing a video game and I just know that it's not real life and that it's a video game and that it's imaginary, much like a book, it's not real. You guys remember when we used to burn books thinking that that would do anything? Anyways. Finger, come back here. Burn the books! That's actually one thing I'm surprised the past administration for the United States didn't do. Or maybe they did. Did they ever burn any books? Did they like have a mass book burning thing in some of the states? From the red states, I imagine. Anything with science, burn it! It hurts to laugh at that. It really does. Oh, man. Got a bunch of hot takes, guys. Just a bunch of hot takes. Are aliens and jinns the same thing? I don't think so. Aren't jinns like they're it's more of like a spiritual thing, right? It's more on like an ethereal kind of level. Isn't that what jinns are? I'm probably saying it wrong too. Aren't jinns in like Phantasmagoria, that game? That's like one of the things you can detect? Anyways, I don't know. Good question though, Mute. I can't give you an answer because I just don't know enough about well, both things. I believe in aliens. I think aliens are very real. Do I believe in ethereal things? I can't confirm or deny. I really can't. I have no evidence to prove or disprove. Right? I think it would be fucking awesome if they were jinns, and at least the ones that I'm thinking of. But both can't be seen from what I read. Yeah, and that's, well, I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe we'll probably be able to prove aliens before jinns. Or is it like yins? DJINN? Is that silent D and a soft J? So it's yin? Maybe it's that? Is that how you pronounce it? Hold on, I gotta Mark Riboulet a little bit. Sometimes it just happens. Just gotta get it out of your system. Okay, we're back. Sometimes, do you guys ever just like Mark Riboulet out a little bit? Just because how he fucking dances when he's making his music? Fucking love it. What are your tips for a newbie to digital art, particularly for figures? I would say gestures. I would start with gestures. Go over to a life drawing class and sign up. No, go over to Quick Poses. I mean, you can do that too, Quick Poses. But probably not in 2020 since it's COVID year. The great COVID year. Hopefully it stays just into the 1 year, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Go to Quick Poses. Check this out. Boom. So here's a resource that you can use. Essentially what this website does is it has an archive of photos that you can choose the type of photo. Let's go to time practice. Here, the type of photo: face, hands, feet, animals, landscapes, urban, gender, clothing. We can go clothes for this demo. The interval, so how long it'll appear in the browser, and then once it reaches the total time that you've allotted, it'll automatically, here's the cool thing about the site, it'll automatically change to a new photo for you. So, whereas in the past, if you wanted to have a life drawing session at your home, and you didn't want to have to buy a naked person, you didn't want to have to hire a live model, because they're expensive, you can use these types of websites. And there's others out there. Quick Poses it just has always worked very well for me, so I usually go with it. And then you hit the start button right here. And I'm so glad there's no penises on this, so that's great. And then you see the little bar loading. Once it gets to the end, automatic new image. Now, when you do that with your the new partially nude photos, it's exactly like a life drawing session, except not in life. But it's a really useful tool, and it's free, and you can support them with a coffee if you would like to. And then, so you're working on doing gestures. You can start by giving yourself however much time you need to finish from head to toe. So start with that time. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 8 minutes, whatever. Give yourself the time for maybe the first couple, and then shorten that time in half, right? And then try and get to the same start with the head, work your way down to the feet for every pose, and slowly reduce the time. So it's maybe half a minute, and eventually reverse that setup. So start with giving yourself enough time to draw the entire pose, right? Starting anywhere else beyond that is too overwhelming, I think. So start there, get a couple sessions in of doing that, and then when you're ready, instead of starting with the longest pose, reverse it and start with like 30-second or a minute poses, and do about like 30 or however many you feel like doing, and then you can up the time. Starting next week, though, we will start every stream with a session of gesture drawing. So if you want to come back on Monday or Tuesday or anytime next week, I'll show you what we do with quick poses to warm up, and that's what we'll start doing again. The quick poses, and then there's another website that's called Alex Hayes for Loomis. You can go to this site. Did I link? Yeah, I did. Okay. You can go to this site, and this site can give you even more information about figure drawing. So click the second one, Andrew Loomis, figure drawing for all it's worth. You might see some drawn nipples here twitch from over 100 years ago. These are the oldest nipples on Twitch right now. And before, Twitch is like, I hate old nipples too! Bam! There's a lot of literature. Andrew Loomis talks about some really useful shit. Maybe skip through this part until you see some ideal proportions. You know, these are 8 heads. Does he go with 8 heads? Is that what he does? 1, 2, 3, 4 is at the crotch point. 5 heads, belly button. Number 6 is at the nipples. 7 at the chin, and 8's the top of the head. So there's some proportions that Loomis likes. They change depending on your archetype that you want, the characteristics, the age, perspective here. So this is very basic stuff for poses in anatomy. I hope that this is useful. And how to break down a human pose into, I guess, a mannequin or really simple lines and shapes. Andrew Loomis has just the best way of doing that. Gets into gestures a little bit. Anyways, check this site out. Okay, it's there. I'll get a bot command again at some point for all this stuff, so that we have easy access to it. Yeah, hopefully that helps, man. Yes, you're right, World Teller. Sometimes quick poses, there will be some nipples and there will be some little dongers. I think they just use an algorithm to scan photos and put them in the right directory or category. I don't know if a person actually goes through and reports them. That's why there's a button that you can flag them and say that this shouldn't be here. You can click it. But yeah, I'm gonna go stretch my legs, take a quick break. I'm gonna run a 60-second ad block here. It's the only time that I run ads. It's the midpoint of the stream, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And fill up my coffee, see how things are going in the house, and we'll get right back to probably just talking about how we can't paint nipples. Okay, so you might see some ads, you might not. I'll be right back. Thanks, guys. Cool, I'm back. Thanks, guys. Thanks for chilling while I was AFK. I'm back. Brush techniques, composition, lighting, colors, values. You can learn that just from master studies. Very true. And what's really fun is you can focus on each one of those. And learn a lot, basically. And that's something that we'll probably do. Is take maybe a week or a couple of weeks, maybe, or an unset amount of time to kind of go over those, because I want to. I'll be going over pretty much every fundamental that I want to, I guess. Composition being a big one that I want to improve. My ability to tell a story is something that I really want to work on as well. And something that helps with that is setting up a nice composition, setting up a nice scene. So I'm awful at it. That's why I'm here, to prove to you that I'm awful at it. And also not to prove that I'm awful at it, but to, well, get better at it. That's the hopes. Okay, so let's put this, I'm gonna merge all this down. What am I doing? Yeah, let's do this. And then merge that, turn that off. It's on that layer. Okay, that's the arms. Let's go ahead and do this. that's all flattened now. Still want to work on these fingers here. Background, where am I? No? Oh, that's right, I literally just merged everything. Good old trusty brain farts. I think it'd be interesting if somehow we were able to experience being in the mind of another person. Maybe specifically someone who's in the same line of work, has a very similar kind of job, and what it's like, what their thought process is. Do they always paint on the wrong layer? Are they always merging layers together and messing up big time because they still needed that previous layer that they merged together? These kinds of things. You know, the questions that really matter. What is their brush size? That's basically all I want to know. It's just what's the size of their brush? Just tell me what size is your brush? I just need to know. By the way, the size of the brush doesn't matter. That's completely irrelevant. Or maybe it is relevant, and that's the thing that I'm missing. I have never asked for a brush size. Sounds like a dick joke. I agree. It did. It really did. Alright. Stick to the hands, Derek. Nope. Don't know what that was. There, like that. Like, is that a thing that happens to you guys? Like, do you just like fat finger the gradient tool randomly? I don't know. Why does that happen? I'm sure it does. I'm pretty sure that's just something that happens to pretty much anybody with fingers, right? Even if you didn't have fingers, you'd probably accidentally hit things all the time. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll work on this area here. And then get to the hands. A little bit lighter. I think it's still a little bit lighter. I'm okay with that. So yeah, I hope that what I was talking about earlier before the break, quickposes.com, starting like how to improve your understanding of anatomy, because you don't just want to be able to draw forms better or a person better. You want to understand the anatomy of what makes a person eventually, right? Jumping right to that kind of, I don't know, starting off slow, simplifying. Taking the biggest shapes and simplifying as best you can, starting like that, and then refining. I think it's just we'll be doing this most likely tomorrow, and I'll go over whatever my thought process is, and if it's, I don't know, if it's something like we were talking about today, then maybe it'll be relevant. Or not. Was really interesting. Stream, politics, aliens, brush sizes. Yeah, covering all the most important topics of conversations in one spot. Have a good evening, everyone. Sumbearski, thank you so much for hanging out. Spending any of your time here is greatly appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you again sometime. Take care. Hey, Mofu. How you doing? Okay, so there. Trying to make sense of these colors and values under her hand. Okay, so this is too dark and too gray. Raise it up a little bit. Folds in. That value a little bit darker right here. They're almost too parallel right now, so I gotta adjust that. Maybe not parallel, but just look like rails. And that needs to be a little bit more sky bluish. Right here, maybe a little bit darker in value. When I'm over here and muttering to myself and just commenting on my brushstrokes, you guys can hear. What if I angled the mic a little bit better? You guys can hear what's going on, right? What I'm saying? When I'm over here muttering, just going blah, 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 blah. The audio's fine. In comparison to the music. Audio's good, thanks, Mofu. Appreciate it, man. Because I don't know, you're missing out on some valuable content over here. No, you're not, but you know, if I was listening, I'd want to hear things, I guess. You do, man. I appreciate it. I really do. You know, it saves me having to go and watch the VOD later, I guess. Which probably should still do anyways, right? You know, just a good idea to see the quality of the stream overall. Okay. Let's just, I want to finish this and then get to the hands so that we can get to the other places that need to be finished, and then we can be finished with this and move on with our lives. Okay. Actually, sample some of this value. Mix it in. Maybe a little bit more purple. Like that. That'll work for here. I got a question for you guys. Now, by no means do you have to answer. Is my camera lagging a little bit? No, I think it's just my brain. What if you are an artist, or not necessarily an artist, if you already know, let's say you have a job, let's say you have a career right now. What is your dream job right now? In your current state of mind, in your current person being, what's your dream job right now, and what was your dream job when you were a kid? I'll start. I think my dream job as a kid was being a 2D animator. It's something I always wanted to be, a 2D animator or a comic book artist. That's what I had my eyes set out on doing, one or both of those things. Now, what would my dream job be? I actually don't even have an answer for that. I guess I'm kind of fortunate enough to be able to say that I'm doing it. So I guess that would be my answer. This. What would you guys say? Either college art professor or guitar luthier? Am I saying that right? I don't know if I've ever heard of a guitar luthier. Mr. Random Carp. Can I ask you what that is? What a guitar luthier is? Is that like a crafting? You craft them? You make them? Yes. Okay. Yeah. That would be insane. Having to bend wood into wood shapes, into things that aren't wood shapes is crazy. And on top of that, making them sound good is a science that, yeah, you would have to be really into that. You'd have to absolutely love creating those things, and that's something that I admire. Absolutely. A 2D, yeah, like a 2D. Yeah, a 2D artist, you know? A 2D animator. Just, hey, I'm a 2D animator. Just the gas clouds that come out of my nether regions just start animating into, I don't know, Mickey Mouse or something. My dream job was to work with games, but now I feel like I have no clue. I'm working in a warehouse, though. It's a living. And here's kind of the deal, is that the jobs that we take and the jobs that we have are not the jobs that define us, right? And it's really easier said than done, because when you're going through it and you're living in it, sometimes you feel like they are the things that define you, but it's not, right? It really truly isn't. I definitely feel like it doesn't define me. Exactly. And that's fucking great. Because of how life fucking just always changes, and how it throws curveballs at us, but it also throws opportunities. Now, if we're not putting ourselves into a position to receive opportunities, well, that's kind of the realistic and difficult thing of trying to get exposed, right? Trying to get your foot into the door. What am I talking about? I guess what I'm saying is it's okay to not be in the career or in the job position that we want to see ourselves in, right? And realizing that that's not permanent. if we want it to not be. There's so much control that you can regain back when you think like that, right? When you realize that there's certain things that I can do to help benefit myself and getting me to the destination that I want to get to. But it does take work, right? And it takes time, and it takes effort, and tears, and failure, and you just constantly face the same battles over and over again sometimes, and get the same outcome. But that doesn't mean that the opportunities won't ever come, right? Attitude is such a huge part of it. Self-discipline. These are things that are obtainable, not to everyone, because it depends on where you are at mentally. And notice how I'm not really talking about anything art related. It's just, it has nothing really to do with that. It has a lot to do with the inner workings of our minds and the mental blocks that we give ourselves. Or not necessarily blocks, but we kind of instill some false narrative that will force us to not pursue the things that we want to achieve for some reason. And that could be because of depression, anxiety, some fear of something that is unknown to you, preventing you from doing anything, from preventing you from action. Why am I talking about this? I guess it's because this is stuff that I face. This is stuff that's part of my everyday, and it's when we hear it coming from another person, maybe if it's just that much to hear from that another person is struggling similar to you, it's sadistic, but it makes me feel better, you know, because I'm not alone in my struggles, knowing that somebody else is out there who wants to paint nipples but can't. You know, that's the biggest struggle that I'm currently facing. But I lost my point and had to just make it about nipples. There was a message in there somewhere, guys, but I hope you understand what I was trying to say. I'll be drawing for Marvel, driving a Corvette, and playing Atari. Can you get a Corvette that has an Atari? You probably could. Imagine if they probably even made them. It's probably some rich thousandaire back in the 80s who had a Corvette with an Atari or a television in the back seat somewheres. You know, in an age before car phones or cell phones, I imagine they still strive for these cool implementations. If you were to ask me, 10 years old, G40, I'd be drawing, yeah. And I hate my career that I end up with. And I'd say that that's sadly majority of people. That's just like what life ends up delivering. But even then, with that said, it's still we don't really know what's around the next corner in terms of like opportunities, right? So it's never truly over unless we want it to be. So I guess keep that in mind. And Mofu, I want to see if I missed anything that you said earlier. Obi, chill. My dream job was work with games, but now I feel like I have no clue. I'm working in a warehouse, though. It's a living. Definitely feel like it doesn't define me. Okay, good. Like, it's such a go-to question. It's in social interaction. So, what do you do for a living? Yeah, and it's like, how do you sustain your income and pay your bills? That's it. But what do I do? This other thing that I absolutely love to do. You know, maybe it doesn't necessarily net income to a degree that my job does, but it's the thing that I am absorbing myself in and that I'm passionate about, and that this thing alone has helped me through a lot of fucking life situations because I can go to it, right? That's why it's so important, is because it becomes kind of like this therapy. And the worst thing, I guess, I wasn't really trying to lead into this, is that when that therapy kind of betrays you and you get burnt out, and why balance is such a huge part. And you know, it's not always about the thing that helps us pay the bills that defines us. It's how we spend our time, who we're spending our time with, what we're doing with our free time. I think that's more of what we would get from something that would define ourselves with, or from. I think I'd like to work in the games industry still, or just do something creative. I've honestly thought about learning a trade, but I don't know. I'd call it a dream job, but I guess it's something I could see myself being driven a bit less nuts doing that than what I'm currently doing. Yeah, I think I can understand that, and I think that's relatable. I would love to be part of a collaboration of sorts with either other artists or artists that I admire. Of course, that would make a lot of sense. You want to be working with the people that you admire, on some type of passion project, whether it's just artwork or a video game or whatever. That would be, to me, the thing that would interest me would be who else is working on it, what it is. I think that's kind of it, right? But that would be a dream job for me. It's basically just like a new assignment that's really interesting and fun with people that I admire and get along with. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I don't know really what that is. I've seen people from beginner to pro in 3 years. Just wanted to mention it. Not possible in every situation, but maybe. And yes, so that's a really good point, Rick, is that we shouldn't necessarily, and we do it anyways, but we shouldn't compare ourselves to the fortunes and opportunities of others. We're not them. And as much as we would like to be, we're wasting time even wishing that we were somebody else. Because you're fucking you, and you're a unique flower. I don't want to say snowflake because that now means something negative. Where snowflakes are absolutely gorgeous. Have you seen one? It's crazy that nature makes such insane patterns. So yeah, I am a snowflake. I'm beautiful. What was I saying? Gotta go. Thanks. See y'all tomorrow. Subvids. Thanks for stopping by, man. Or individual. I'm sorry if I'm saying man and dude at anybody, and that's not the correct term. I apologize. Nonetheless, I hope that you have a good day, and we'll see you soon. College illustration professor used to say I was afraid of success. I can relate to that completely. And what is required to get there. Because, and here's why I'm afraid of success, is because I hate rejection and failure. Because that's all I really know, or that's all we know until we get to a certain point. And then, I don't know, I can only assume that once you get to a certain level of success, failures and rejections are less intense on the mind and brain. Maybe that's not true at all. Maybe they're even worse. But I guess that kind of sheds a light on the fact that we all fail and we all get rejected. Even those who are successful have failed in their 3 year of getting top tier master skills of painting. Maybe they even failed, or not. And even if they didn't, fuck them. Because they ain't you, and you're you. And your abilities are your abilities. And your skill set's your skill set. Right? And your time's your time. Your life's your life. So, what I'm trying to say, I guess, what I'm preaching now, is... I don't remember what I was just talking about. Just gone. It's just completely gone. It's honestly because I was looking at a boobie. That's what it is. And that's why they're banned. That's why boobies are banned. Or nipples, rather. What was I saying? You guys know what I was talking about? Proficiency in any yeah, comparing yourself to somebody else it's a fruitless endeavor. Only compare yourself to where you want to be going. You know, that's the road that I would like to go down. This artist here, they look great. So keep their artwork around you. Have it in folders. Put it up on your walls, like I have here. Maybe not yet, but surround yourself with those artists to inspire. Use it as food, not as hindrance, not as something to make yourself feel like you'll never be able to obtain, because you can and you will, just as long as you keep going forward, right? I think I'm talking about being yeah, I was talking about being Mofu, that's true. So yeah, don't forget to water yourself at least 1 to 2 times a week, and you should be good, and you'll be on your way to a path of success, just like that. It's really that easy. Try water today. Yeah, but does it have electrolytes though? Does water have... Wait, does water have electrolytes? You know, the things that plants crave? Alright, so the hands, back to them. Nope, just kidding. Still on the dress. Nice. Let's background light. Lighten this area up a little bit more. That might be too big of a brush. Put some of the skin tone back in here. Obi. Chill, my man. Some pink. Let's grab that. A little bit darker here in the gray. Put that back in there. Okay. pink or something in here, yeah. Let's desaturate and darken that value. Color a little bit more. Okay, so it's a little bit more intense with this blue. In here. Let's get some value from skin tone. Mix that gray with this. A little bit more. I think we can up the saturation a little bit there, like that. Getting a little bit muddy here. I'm losing what I'm trying to do. Maybe a little bit more like that. Okay, so we kind of just have to render out a little bit more detail down here. And fix our hands still. Hands. So basically just everything. Yeah, like that, Mute. The snowflake it's an intricate, crazy, organic design that happens naturally, and it's probably one of the most unnatural looking things. Well, I guess it is natural. Well, and I say unnatural because it's got a lot of like right angles and shit, right? Or do they? Or do they? Proficiency in discipline is so much more achievable than people might think. If you knew exactly what it took and how to get there, maybe the choice would be as easy as it should be. That's such a good way. That chunk of what you just said there, Rick, is chef's kiss, because it's the fear of the unknown and challenge and what's the other one? And not friction. I guess friction, but like when you're trying to force something to work a certain way because it's the only way that you know, and that's not the answer for the problem. Whatever you get with that resistance, that tension, that's another thing that I hate when it comes to learning, the feeling of learning. Maybe that's just me not understanding how to do whatever this hypothetical thing I'm talking about is. But that's such a good way of putting it, man. Like, if we knew the direct path, if we knew all the answers for all the problems that would come our way on trying to learn something new, yeah, I think we would all be just brain surgeons, right? Or whatever. We'd all be Jeff Bezos or somebody. Bezos or Bezos or Bezzies. Bezizis. Jeff Bezeze. But Jeff Nene. Jeff Nene to humans. I was trying to take a stab at him, but it didn't work. It didn't really hit the mark on that one. You know? Took a swing though, right? What's the old baseball saying? You can't get a touchdown if you don't kick the ball hard. Something, I don't know. If you don't use your legs to swim fast in the court, I don't know how it is. You know, the one with Babe Ruth in it? That old saying, don't pitch the net and fumble the drive. I was trying to use sports that I never used yet, and yes, golf is a sport, and you drive the ball, right? You drive it, and you swing with your driver. I don't know. It is a sport. My chair keeps rolling backwards away from me. Come back. How long have you been doing art? How long have I been doing art? Do you mean like professionally? I've been drawing my entire life. I've always wanted to draw. I've always had a natural interest in art of any sort. Like music, acting, drama, you name it, like it's something I've been interested in. I guess I kind of settled, or you have to choose one to focus primarily on, and it's been art, more specifically Photoshop, painting in Photoshop. But I did take a 2D. How did you spell it? 2D animation. I was a 2D I wanted to be a 2D animator. I love it. And then realized that that's not what I want to be. The second that I opened Flash back in the day, when Flash was one of the only means of animating, and I was like, no, I can't do this. No, it just doesn't. It's not what I want to do. And then I think I said the story yesterday, but I'll really quickly. After graduating from a community college course that was for 2D animation, I ended up scoring, getting a lucky job at a casino studio here in my home city that for 4 years I helped make and paint the graphics for VLTs, so lotto machines in casinos. You know, the ones with all the different styles and genres and diamonds. That's what I did. And it was great because it allowed me to learn how to paint in Photoshop. And then I realized, hey, this is way better. This is much better. Let me just go ahead and quit this job, move to Montreal, try out living in Montreal for 2 years, realize it's extremely expensive to live in Montreal and be a paid Lancer. I did try very, very hard to get into a number of studios. You know, you name it. If it was there at the time, I tried to get into a position just to get myself a salary job of some sort. Didn't work out. It didn't obviously it didn't go my way. I'm not in Montreal. And by the way, that shit that happened in at Ubisoft, it's fucking nuts. I'm glad that everybody's safe. And it was a prank call. I don't even want to even consider it to be a prank call because that's not remotely funny. And you know it's some 13-year-old kid who's like an edgelord, who's like I don't know. I hope it's somebody who's learned a lesson, basically. Because usually they usually find those people that do that, and then they end up you're going to jail, basically. You're going to prison, and then you get to look back on your life realizing, hey man, I'm a fucking idiot. You know? So don't do that shit. Ever. Anyways, moving on. What was I talking about? Judy's, yes. So I moved to Montreal, and there I found some success, but not enough to warrant staying there. So I moved back to New Brunswick. And pretty much immediately as soon as I got back, I had just a bunch of offers at studios around the city and nearby provinces, voicing interest in working with me. So it's been fucking great since coming back. So leaving your hometown, coming back, actually beneficial. Which was really weird. Very, very weird. Man, this radio is so chill, dude. I love it. What happened at Ubisoft? Well, yeah, someone called in that there was something happening there bad, so that SWAT teams would show up and put the lives of the people working at Ubisoft in danger. It's a really fucking stupid thing to do, and I hope no one fucking does that again. Of course, people are idiots. People are complete fucking morons that think this is hilarious. They don't realize that it's people with families, just like around us, everybody. It's people with families. They have loved ones. Don't put them in a position like that for a fucking video game. Don't fucking do that. That's the stupidest thing anybody could probably do. It's not their fault. It's not the developers, the artists working at these studios. For whatever reason you're making up in your head for why you don't like a AAA game. The people you should be upset are probably the people who raised you. Probably the people you should really be upset with. But even then, it's like, how could anybody justify doing something like that? It's fucked. Thankfully, again, everybody is safe. It's no one got hurt. So that's good. But it's something that should never happen. Okay, so let's come down here. I don't think I'm going to worry about too much designs here. I don't know if I even want to do that. Let's put it on its own layer. Yeah, let's go back. Get rid of some of this. Yeah, but I don't want. I don't want. What do they call it in games? I don't want loot boxes in my Assassin's Creed. Like, just don't buy them. Just don't. It's not a multiplayer game. Just don't fucking buy the things. I don't know. And of course, there's going to be people complaining about anything for whatever reason, right? Mr. Random Carp, you're probably exactly right in how painful that would be if that was the case, right? Siege is one of those games that has so many cool, unique features to it from a person who hasn't really jumped into Siege, Rainbow Six Siege. The destructibility of the environments, it just opens it up for crazy strats and fun gameplay and all the different characters that you can be. It's just a fucking shame when communities, human beings, decide to just sour the experience, right? Yeah. It's kind of like that way with most very large and successful multiplayer games like League of Legends. I haven't played League in probably 5 years. The reason why I quit is because of how not fun it is to play once you start getting higher in the ranks, or at least in the mid tier. Because I think once you get above it all and you keep your head above the water of ELO hell, you're fine. And you start to see the same names over and over again, and that's kind of how it is in industries. Is you start to recognize the shits, and then you start recognize the people that are actually you enjoy playing or working with, right? It comes down to just how easy it is to be a dick on the internet, because there's no repercussion, right? It's just so easy to hate people on the internet. Why not try to not be an asshole? You know, challenge yourself. You know, don't be a dick, and see what it's like to be rewarded with kindness. It actually feels pretty fucking good. It might even incentivize you to change your ways. I don't know who I'm talking to, but maybe there's somebody that me saying this, it could help. And in my mind, that's worth saying. It's worth sharing that thought. Yeah, let's jump to the hands again. Nope, just kidding. What's on that layer? Okay. A little bit darker. All my hot takes. Got the hot takes over here, guys. And the sad thing is, like, it doesn't, to me, they aren't the hottest of takes. They aren't like, I'm not moving mountains with my opinions. I'm just kind of expecting compassion. And that's where I can catch myself, guys, don't worry. That's my first issue, is expecting anything from our species, right? Okay, I think for the sake of the study, I'm just gonna leave that like that. So yeah, I've been drawing my whole life. And I've been doing it, I guess, as a career since 2007. How long is that? We will never know. No one has the technology to figure out the answer to that question. Actually, it's 6. Is it 6? 7? I don't know. Let me, what is it? Is that how I do it? And then I go like this. 13 years? No, I didn't just type in 2007, 2020 minus 2007, and then hit enter in Google. Why would I do that? I would just use my brain, my highly evolved brain, to math it up real quick. You know, just math it. That's what I always say. Just math it up a little bit. Easy. Okay, so yeah, I'll leave that there. I really want to add like wrinkles here. Sample that blue. And now I'm done for sure though. This time for reals. Say that. Okay, so let's go to the mall. Let's go to the hands now. That's not the hands. It's a little bit too bright, so zoom that down a little bit. This arm, it still feels like it needs to be shifted, and then a little bit of value needs to be kind of lowered and then saturation, but I think I'll shut that part of my brain off for a bit. You can do that? No, it's my voice will say it, but my brain won't listen. I played so much Siege, played it since launch almost every day, but last month I stopped because I didn't like where Ubi was taking it. Since I'm a sane human, I simply stopped playing, and that's I guess the issue of the success of these games, right, is usually the community kind of cannibalizes itself, and it stunts any, well, I wouldn't say it stunts any growth because there's so much money in the success of it. It's constantly like kind of up and down, and at finding a nice ebb and flow of consistent gamers, right? As people go to sleep and people wake up, that game just has a nice density of people to play with. It just so happens that, like other very successful games, those people suck. They suck that maybe they're amazing at playing the game, but they're just suck to be around. You know, and that goes back from my experience of playing Counter-Strike 1.5 and 1.6 back in the day, pretty competitively, and it just, I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't fucking do this anymore. It stops being fun. Really sucks because you still love the game. You just can't. It's not worth it. It's not worth what you lose in your mind. You just can't handle that trade of I want to sit down and play a game. No, here's a bunch of stress and bullshit instead. Like, that's not why we play games. I play video games to immerse myself in a different world, or to help decompress the real life bullshit, where I can literally sit down and play like games like Black Desert Online and just kill the same mobs for hours at end and turn my brain off. That's what I want to do. And that's usually those are the games that I play now. It's kind of like, it's an MMO, but it's not really. Imagine playing video games for fun and not just trying to get the top position on a leaderboard or join an e-sports team of some sort. Imagine. Check out this loser trying to have fun. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Fancy. I know exactly what you're saying. I'll be right back, guys. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm back. Imagine playing video. It's just... It's something that I make sure that's happening when I'm playing a game. Which sounds weird, right? That's like a weird thing to say. But it's simply because, like I was saying, I've experienced having a game ruin me. It just completely ruined me. And stop me from having fun. I caught myself. I think the next game that started to do this, and I think the most recent of games, it was Counter-Strike, and then I think League, and then I started playing StarCraft 2, like, religiously, trying to climb rank. I think I made it like some high gold or whatever, maybe a diamond, or I don't know, whatever the ranking was, but it like destroyed my confidence and made my tremor even worse. I was afraid of hitting the matchmaking button. I would get like anxiety attacks just from seeing that screen. Because of how much was on the line. And in reality, it was nothing. It's just a fucking game. But the leaderboards and your ranking and all that shit played a huge part on my brain, and I eventually just stopped playing. I had to quit. StarCraft. That game used to, like, I was so obsessed with fucking StarCraft. I think that was like the first thing that got me into and aware of streams. Like that streaming was even a thing. It's because of the Korean, what is it? Whatever the esports streams were that had Artosis and is it Tasteless? It's Day 9's brother hosting in Artosis, hosting the Korean, like North Korean, the South Korean the South Korean esports of StarCraft. Yeah, this finger needs to be pushed back in. I'm gonna merge that down. I did it. That's a big step. Let's do this. Grab that, Control T, Control H to hide it so I can see what I'm doing. Rotate it. I think something like that. And then maybe make that pinky a little bit. Probably bring it down to, I think I'll just go with that. Now make a new layer, clip it on. Push that one back. I feel like that needs to be a little bit desaturated. Yeah. What's the deal with people bashing artists, mostly comic artists, for using reference entire poses and pieces of clothing? I don't understand them, and I ignore those people, block them, blacklist them, whatever it is, because that's the most silliest of things people can say, is to not use reference. That's if you wanna draw bad, do that. If you wanna improve in your understanding of what it is that you're using as your characters, which I'm assuming in most cases something that has human anatomy. In order to improve that, you have to expose your brain and your mind to anatomy and reference. So you can't just I'm just gonna will my brain to understand anatomy. You can't do that. I've tried. End up making a mess in your anyways. I've tried that way. Doesn't work. So you need reference. Especially if you don't know what you're drawing. Yeah, I don't... They're out there, gaming book. It's just unfortunate, and we just have to ignore them. That's it. I am a fast pooper, but I was actually just going out there to check on Obi. But I'll still take the compliment. Because my favorite cereal is Raisin Bran. So, you never know when the next spoon's gonna have a nice tasty raisin in it. In between all the high fiber bran. It's exciting. It's an epic adventure every mouthful. This bite had 3 raisins. See how exciting that is? You only wish you could eat as many bowls of Raisin Bran as me? I don't know. And then, another favorite of mine, cereal, which is like, that's what I live off of. I eat cereal, that's kind of it. Especially during this pandemic. Cereal is like comfort food. And I guess it is, right? Maybe not to everybody, but... Mini wheats. Yeah, mini wheats, man. Maybe it's not called mini wheats where you're located, in your country. Mini wheats, to me, it's what is it, like Weetabix? Is that what it's called? But it has like icing on top of it, and they're bite-sized little squares. Is that what Weetabix is? Weetabix. I think that's like it's a whole grain cereal, but they're more. No, it's not necessarily these. It's kind of ish this, you know, as if we just go like this. I don't know why I wouldn't just go mini wheats. Is that how you spell mini wheats? Oh yeah, buddy. Yes. Give me this one. Give me the jumbo size. We going to Costco now. These are fantastic. Anyways, if you guys like pooping a lot, check out your local grocery store for some high fiber mini wheats. I get swiping from another artist's comic, but reference are tools everyone needs. I completely agree. Those people who are arguing against using reference are fighting a losing battle. And they will always fight a losing battle. Because you can't will knowledge. You can't do it. You can't will yourself to get better at something by repeating the same unknowing drawings over and over again, right? You need to contrast and compare and observe. You know, that's just... You just have to apologize to them and say, man, I'm sorry that you can't get it. You don't understand it. But I'm going this way now. I hope I never see you again. And block. I regret playing comp Overwatch. And it kind of lingers on to other games, man. For me, it's like, I saw when Overwatch was coming out, how much fun that game could be. And maybe if I had like 5 childhood friends or good friends that I would be able to play with on a daily basis, and we're all like-minded and not competitive, just there for fun, then it would be fun. but that's highly unlikely that you would always have 5 like-minded friends available to play at any given time that you want to play Overwatch or any multiplayer game. Because it really makes or breaks the entire experience. You know, like it's like D&D. You know, if you are playing with people who, I guess, give you this kind of reaction to what they're saying, and you're like, whoa, what are you, like, in not a cool way? It makes or breaks it, right? So, I'm sorry that you suck ass. I do suck ass. I suck ass at a lot of games and a lot of things in life. Wait, are you directing that to me, John? You should be, because I do suck a lot of... Get in there and I'll just... Oh, I could say so much right now, but I'm trying to clean up my act a little bit. I guess with me pretending I'm sucking on an asshole is an effort to clean up my act, then just be thankful you weren't here to see me at my nastiest, that's for sure. Nothing wrong with using reference. Even copying other artists is fine if it's only for studying purposes and not actual work. I completely agree. You know, and even for my professional work, I always have up finished illustrations for examples of quality, right? That's the quality. That's the level of quality I'm aiming for. And seeing a finished painting, seeing a finished illustration of something that I'm aiming towards, the answers are all done. You know, the questions have been solved. The problems that the artist has fixed everything. So you're seeing the end result. I'm at the beginning. I can cross compare and kind of feel things out. It might not be exactly like using reference, but it's similar. So I will have other people's artwork up in like pure, what is it called? Pure Ref. That's the program that I use when I'm working on things. To throw in my reference. Because you can have a huge canvas, or even a small one, of just any image up there. Pure Ref is fantastic. I absolutely recommend it. I think it's another one of those programs you just need to buy once, and you pay for whatever additional updates. So maybe in a year or two, you can get a newer update to justify the cost, I guess. Or just use the same one, the same version. Is it free? Why did I pay them? I think I paid $5. Or did I? Am I thinking of something else? I don't know. Why are they taking my money? Anyways, even if I did, I would do it again because of how awesome Pure Ref is. It's very nice. Derek goes after that ass like a Capri Sun. Yeah, and that's that's when I lose the straw, right? That's when you lose the straw and you're going after that Capri Sun, because the hole's there. The silver thing where you're supposed to punch into the Capri Sun, right? If you lose the straw, what are you gonna do? You go. You say, "Fuck straws. I'm the straw." Oh boy. Guys, remember how I said I was gonna finish this today? Nah. We might be able to say that this is finished just like this, though. It's not. I'm gonna put it on the back shelf. Maybe I'll do like an evening stream one of these days coming up, maybe next week, to finish this. If I do, the only way for you to find out is if you're following the channel and you leave notifications on. I don't care if you leave notifications on. What I'd suggest is just leave a tab open that's constantly running my channel. No? Okay. But follow me on Twitter. If I do those outside of the schedule streams, that's where you can find out when and if I am doing them. All my social handles are John Derek Murphy, all one word. So what you see for the URL here at Twitch, that's where you can find me on other platforms or other websites. But I'll be back tomorrow for head studies. Or, yeah, because I'm definitely not going to be painting this for a week and a half straight. We might get back to it, but like I said, follow me on Twitter, follow the channel. Thank you everybody who hung out. We'll be back tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. EST for some head studies. We'll go over some Loomis stuff. We'll start with some circles, drawing some circles to warm up, maybe do some gesture drawings, maybe like 10 to 20 gesture drawings, and then we'll jump into the exercise. And I'll explain everything tomorrow. But for now, that's pretty much the stream. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in, hanging out, lurked, chatted, followed, subbed, whatever. I certainly appreciate everything that you guys do here. There it is. And most of all, thanks so much for watching. There's the schedule right in front of you guys. Convenient time for music to go quiet. There it is. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. EST. Loves and hugs. I'm out. Peace.